Patreon member shout out. The finish line is just around the bend. I'll pause this game so our love will never end. Let's go again. Blue shell is coming, so I'll go ahead. If you hang behind, it'll hit me instead. But never look back, 'cause I'm down but not dead. I'll catch up to you. Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with a Veve Omi update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love y'all. I'm gonna say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing are free ways to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that thanks button down below. So, I was just on stream and somebody had asked me when Nintendo, and I was like, guys, publicly, the evidence to support that claim that Nintendo might happen is actually evidence points against it. You know, one of the heads of Nintendo had said, we are not interested in making NFTs unless we know that we could make it a good, fun experience. And basically they want to add their own Nintendo spin on it. They want to make it great. Why I haven't come out with any NFTs myself, because I want to make it have a lot of utility. Although there are NFTs of me already officially from Earth 2 on Atomic Hub on Wax. But for Nintendo, if we break down this assessment, we want to make sure it's fun for everyone. If we want to make sure that they put their Nintendo spin on it. The only person that I have seen as a company make sure that their audience understands that they know how to buy NFTs and what gas prices are, how to do things, is Gary Vaynerchuk. The only person that I know that have done that, which Veve hasn't done because Veve doesn't need to do. Veve just, you put in that credit card, soon you'll be able to put in Omi or anything. Just Omi to NFT, crypto to NFT, credit cards, it doesn't matter. PayPal to NFT, very, very easy to do. But for the rest of the world, and here's why I think Nintendo is probably going to come to Veve, if they haven't already at some point, is because Gary Vee spent months, teaching his audience how to set up a MetaMask, what the difference is between certain wallets, how to go and wrap Ethereum, how to buy NFTs, how to go on OpenSea. It was a laborious process that was not easy, and there was no guarantee that it would work. It worked for him because he's got a cult following of a large, massive following, that audience. And, not everything that Nintendo does is great and beautiful. Some things are okay. A lot of things are fantastic. We know the great stuff. We know Pokemon, Mario, name any game. There's hundreds of amazing titles that everyone's played, that everyone's loved. Again, for me to get a lot of this stuff on my arm is not because I like crap. I love the amazing storylines. I love the characters. I love the artwork. I love the animations. Sometimes it catches you in the feels, especially Super Smash Brothers. But for every amazing, fantastic game that they have, there's several that really aren't that good, that are just, I played it and it was okay. And, the only reason why the games were good to begin with is because they had that Mario on there, because they had, Pokemon, because they had other things on there. Pokemon Puzzle League, which is a great game, it would have been an okay game without the Pokemon characters, but because it had it on there, again, it's an okay game that's made awesome just because it's Pokemon. So let's if I was president of Nintendo and I go and say, okay, I'm going to task someone, and I want to say about NFTs, and people in Japan are generally much more technologically literate than you are in most of the rest of the world. Anywhere in Asia typically are. Take a look at China's politicians and American politicians. American politicians interviewing Mark Zuckerberg was like, oh my God, they didn't know what that was made. God, if anyone's trying to get into politics, go watch that video and just know the questions that they're asking. It's just absolutely asinine. So when you have different companies and politicians that are really, really good at this, and they know that NFTs are the future, well, you have a decision to make. Do we make them ourselves, or do we license them out to someone else? Disney themselves don't even make their own video games. They license it out to Square Enix. They license it out to other places. So when Nintendo has that option of, okay, we could either spend millions of dollars making an app like Veve did, or just making brand awareness, making NFTs the art, and they try to educate their people how to buy NFTs, which not a lot of people will, at least at first. It's got to be easier. It's got to be a lower barrier to entry. It might not work. They could set up their own app as Veve if they go down that route and they say, let's take millions of dollars, let's develop a really cool app, let's develop something that, which again, Veve's been doing for years. We still don't have a search bar. It would take Nintendo probably a couple of years of development to go in, because it would be a very big risk. A lot of times when companies get bigger, they like to see a lot of profit, and Nintendo's a publicly traded company. And if you look at NTDOI, so it's November, Tango, Delta, Oscar, Yankee. If you put that in on Yahoo Finance, let's go to it right now. Since January of 2018, they've actually lost about $5. So you could have bought in January of 2018, 5 years ago, and you would have lost $5 per share, give or take. Now, they need to make sure they are profitable. So to spend millions of dollars on something that's not guaranteed to work, because not all of their stuff is amazing. A lot of it is, but not all of it is. In this new technology, in this new way, where it's a big risk. So if I was president of Nintendo, I would weigh my options and be like, okay, I could start making money now, this year. New line item number, mucho profit. And they can go and partner with Veve, which already has a cult following, where if things like Toby and things like Electra, which don't necessarily look so good right now, if they sell out, you can be damn sure that Yoshi in his little red boots, the 8-inch puffball Kirby, Mario, Legend of Zelda, Star Fox, Pokemon DK, all the amazing things that I don't have on my arm as well, you can pretty sure that they're going to sell out in 1 second. As again, Veve already has that built-in audience that buys anything they put out, and it's shown in pretty much every single sale that they do, and it doesn't have to look great in order for them to sell out. It's guaranteed money for them. It's guaranteed profit. And if I was president of Nintendo, I'd be like, okay, this is probably the move. This is probably the one it's less risky, and we might have to not take as much profit in because we're doing it through somewhere else. But they do that for a few years until maybe they release their own platform, until maybe they do something like they did with Amiibos, and they say, hey, now it's going to be, you get the NFT and you can get a certain character in the game. Just because they have an agreement with Veve, which I'm not saying they do, because they don't as of right now. If they do, it's not public. Just because they would have an agreement with Veve doesn't mean that they wouldn't do their own stuff at some point in the future, unless that's worked into the contract, that they wouldn't do their own NFTs for 5 years, give or take. And by that time, they could still, in the background, they could develop, they could do whatever they want, and then release it 5 years later when it's at the ready. And then maybe make the OG NFTs that are released on Veve interoperable. Again, if I was somebody that was tasked with going and negotiating with Veve, say like, hey, make sure this deal goes through, okay, what do? I could go and say, I want that 6% resale value, the same as Disney has, the same as 007 has, the same as DC just renegotiated. But if I'm Veve, I could say, listen, we did a lot of these negotiations with Disney and Marvel and all this stuff for their 6%. When we weren't really that big of an app, but now that we are that big of an app, valued at multiple billions of dollars, they say like, you're going to get 2%, and you're going to like it, and if you can go back and tell your boss that because you didn't want to do a deal, because you were sacrificing 4%, you want to be greedy, you want to get that extra 4% to get 6%, okay, well, guess what? Now you have to tell your boss that they not only did they not get the deal, but they have to spend millions of dollars on an app, they have to spend millions of dollars on development, or make their own NFTs, and guess what? It's not guaranteed to work. Guarantee you that these conversations have happened already. Why? Because I know Nintendo. I know Veve, I know Nintendo, I know that that it has to have. Why? Because that's just free money. That's a printing press. Veve is a printing press for free money for anyone that goes. And if I was Nintendo, I'd be like, okay, before we give you Pokemon, before we give you, our entire arsenal, we're going to do like a relatively small character. We're going to give you Wario. We're going to give you Waluigi. We're going to give you, Rosalina's kind of a fan favorite. Let's say they give you Mr. Game & Watch. Let's say they give you just Kirby. Like any one of their IPs. Let's say Kirby, because you get King Dedede. You get all of the other characters that are in there. Also, Kirby can turn into Yoshi, Mario, Link. Why? Because he can suck them up, press down, and absorb their powers. And so you just from Kirby, you have years of content, like years. Mario, make that a decade. Add a 0 to that one. Make that a decade. That's how much content you have. Like when there are stories made of just God, all the amazing things that they have. Koopa Troopas, Bob-Ombs, King Boo's, Bowser and his children, the 7-star children in general. Mother of God. Anyway, that's just my ideas why I think Nintendo and Veve have had negotiations, why I think it would be really behoove Nintendo to go in and work with Veve and Nintendo executives. If you're watching this, I have a script, I have a screenplay. I'm ready to do a movie for you. But yeah, that is why I am 100% bullish on this. Now, there's no guarantee that this has actually happened. There's no guarantee that even if they did come to the table in negotiations, that they even came to an agreement, because maybe the two are so big now that Nintendo wants a certain amount, and maybe Vivi's like, yeah, no, you're not getting that. You're getting a small amount, and maybe they just can't come to that agreement. But if I was Nintendo, I would 100% sacrifice that short term to be able to go and just get the foot in the door, make sure it works, and while they do that, build up their platform if they're going to do that in the future, which they should. Anyway, guys, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. But before we do that, everyone check out at HeyDavidDon, at KingMavsForever over on Twitter, Standoff Chart and KingMavs over on the Veve app, Kobe Collects and Only Player One over on the YouTube, RateX.eth domain name, Kyle Willson, Wendy Stibalis, Puddin' Cheeks, Veve Las Vegas, Taps Trades, Mars Davis, Legacy Bermuda, Sody Pop Media, Veve Dark Link, Metal Lemon, and Veve Vibes, all on the YouTube. Got at Nomad with Guitar, at Wet Wizard Veve, and Gary O at 1234CA3, all on the Twitter. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Goodbye. Meow, meow, meow. My neck feels better. Whee.